This is Sunday night worship service, youth night here at the Pine Level Pentecostal Unitarian Church with Ericka Allen, along with a special guest tonight. So stay with us. We'll begin in about 3 minutes. We'll start our Sunday night youth service here at the Pine Level Pentecostal Unitarian Church.
Hey guys, this is Ericka from Pine Level Pentecostal Holiness Church. I'm one of the teachers here, and I'm so glad that you guys are going to be joining us today. So today, we are on our 4th night of youth Bible study, and what we're going to be talking about today is the book of Esther.
Woo! Hey, Miss Ericka!
Oh, hey, Coop!
Hey, Ericka, you said Esther?
Yes, I said
Wow.
Esther. Do you like Esther?
I love Esther.
Oh my goodness, so we got a Bible whiz in the house, don't we?
Well, sorta.
Sort of. All right, Coop. Well, I'm so glad that you're going to be here with us tonight while we talk about the book of Esther. Now, before we go into this, I want to tell you guys that you guys can list your prayer requests down below. And along with that, you can also call in at church and you can ask Coop over here some questions, and she does know a little bit about Esther along with myself. So, like I said before, you can make some prayer requests down below. You can say them unspoken, spoken, because we know that there is a power in prayer, don't we, Coop?
That's right. We know.
Because God hears us, He loves us, and He wants to, that sort of deal. It's important for us for our Christian walk. So, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go into prayer. All right, so dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you so very much just for having this special guest on here tonight with Coop. And Lord, we just ask for your, Lord, that these prayer requests that are spoken, unspoken, Lord, that they may be lifted up, God, and that you hear them, Lord, and that you just take care of us because we know in your promises that you love us. So we love you, Father, and we just thank you so very much. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Yes. So, now Coop, in the beginning of the book of Esther, now this is after the exile of the Jews from Jerusalem, and this is in the rule of King X. That's what we're going to be talking about today, is King X, or that's who's going to be ruling today. Now, King X ruled over India all the way to Ethiopia.
Wow, how big is that?
So, I'm so glad that you asked that because whenever I saw India to Ethiopia, my mind was kind of blown, Coop. I didn't really know how big that was. It's roughly the size of the United States, which is around 2,600 miles.
Wow.
I know. And so, King X, he was throwing banquets to celebrate his reign. And at the peak of the feast, while him and his men, this is really bad, guys, really bad. They were drunk, Coop.
Oh man, that's bad.
Yes, it is bad. And whenever people are in that kind of mindset, they make really bad decisions. So whenever in the Bible Christ says for us, because he is holy, we will also be holy, we have to keep our temples good.
Yeah, and you know what? John the Baptist wasn't supposed to drink nothing to keep his body good. So they should not have been drinking.
No, they shouldn't have been. And this is a sign that this guy kind of isn't biblical.
That's right.
We're already seeing this in this guy. So, and while this guy, he was drunk, right? He asked his queen, we call her Queen V, guys. She's very, very beautiful. He asked her to come in during the party because he wanted all the men to see how beautiful his wife was. He wanted them all just to look at her. And you know what she did, Coop?
What?
She refused.
Oh no! Did he kill her?
No, he didn't kill her, Coop.
Oh, that's good. That's good
know.
because you know if you refuse the king, he can cut your head off.
Yes, and that's happened before, guys. And so this guy who's a little bit more laid back than that, he didn't do a King Henry VIII kind of style. I know. But what he did rather was that he got so angry, and I mean so angry, that he made laws that Queen V could never ever stand in front of him, that he would give away her crown to another person. Now, these laws that the king made were under the Persian and Medes.
What's the Persians and Medes?
So, that's what I asked too whenever I looked at that. Like, what's a Persian and Mede?
I never heard of them.
So, what it means is that they could, these laws meant that they could never be taken back after they're ordered.
Never could they ever take it back?
Never.
You mean they could have had their hands crossed behind their backs and then they could have took it back.
I know, but the Persians didn't work that way.
Oh, okay.
Persians were like, nope, you agree to it, so it ain't happening.
Yeah.
So never, ever, and all ever, forever, ever, Coop.
That's bad.
It is really bad, Coop. So he would never see Queen V again. So how do you feel about him, Coop?
Well, I tell you what, I would feel like biting his leg. But I know I can't do that to be a good dog, but I would definitely growl at him because he's a bad guy. And I don't like bad guys.
Oh, I know. Dogs have that, like, second sense,
yeah,
right?
we can sense bad guys.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they can. Well, as Christians, we can't be biting people, Coop.
Yeah, I know.
I know. But you're completely justified in that, right?
That's right.
So now King X, he was drunk whenever he made that decision, and when in his right mind, he actually regretted it. He completely regretted it, but he couldn't take it back. So you know what he does?
What?
He begins to search for a new queen, someone very, very beautiful. So this girl, Esther, was brought among other girls to the king.
Esther? Who's Esther?
Good question. This is about who our story is about tonight, is little Miss Esther, ordinary little Esther. So she was an orphan, and her cousin Mordecai took her in. right? And he cared for her. And he would check on her by the gates, and he told her to not say anything about her religion or heritage.
Well, how come?
Good question. So, because she's a Jew. See, her family and her, they were descendants of the Jews who were exiled by King Nebuchadnezzar, which was during the time of Daniel. And she's also from the tribe of Benjamin.
Yeah, and I think he's related to Jesus.
Yes, this is in the line of Jesus.
Wow.
Yes. So God had this all planned out from the very, very beginning, before we even knew about any of this that was going to happen. See, he uses all of our pain and suffering for good.
Yeah, God is good that way. He knows things.
Yes, he knows more than what we could ever imagine, because he's holy and set apart from us.
That's right.
So, and then the question comes about, like, why couldn't she talk about it? Because she's a Jew, right? Right, Coop?
Yeah.
Because, she should be allowed to speak.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? We ain't in America during this time.
Yeah.
This is about 480 BC.
Wow, that's a long time ago.
I know, I couldn't imagine living during there, because they didn't have no freedom of speech back then. And even Queen Bee, she got exiled for just saying no.
Did he kill her?
No, remember, Coop?
Oh, that's right.
He
Yeah.
exiled her.
He exiled her. That don't mean killing. That just means making her leave, right?
Yeah, he could never ever be around her again. Yeah, but and along with that, Jews were continually persecuted by kingdom. So there was a chance that she could have gotten hurt during this time. So she goes through a year of this beautifying. That's why I call it Coop. She goes through all this spa treatment. She goes getting her nails, everything. And she,
Yeah. My master does that. She goes and gets her hair done, and then she comes back and she's got her nails all done.
we got to take care of ourselves sometimes, right, Coop?
That's right. Sometimes they send me to the vet and I get, well, we won't talk about that part, but I do get my nails clipped.
No, Coop, don't be giving me TMI. Coop. Oh my goodness, Coop. So after this, so she listens and she takes advice from all the advisors, and people kind of look at her and they really admire the way that she carries herself, and also she's very beautiful. And after this beautifying process, she is brought to King X. She's brought to him, and wow, you won't believe what she does, Coop.
What does she do?
So what happens is that he sees her and he kind of like falls in love in a way. He favors her more than any other person. And he was so delighted in her that he took the old queen's crown and he placed it on her head.
Wow.
He declared her queen, Coop.
Wow, that was great for her.
I know, that just this ordinary girl, he makes her queen. And see, what happens is that, remember Mordecai, her cousin? The guy that he took her in and he just checks on her all the time. Well, he was at the king's gate when he overheard others planning an assassination on the king.
Oh, wow. What did he do?
So what Mordecai did was a great thing. He ran to Esther and he told her. And in return, she told the king. Doing so, it was recorded in record books. This is really important. So remember that, Coop. Remember that.
Recorded. Remember. Yes, I remember.
The record books.
Yeah,
yes,
the record books.
Yes. So, 5 years pass. And this guy named Haman, he was gaining popularity and favor with the king. So much, Coop. Get this. He convinced the king to order royal officials to bow before Haman whenever he passed.
Wow. That's not good.
Yeah.
Because he's not even the king. Why would he want to do that?
I know. I would say that this guy's a bit full of himself. What
Yeah, I think so too. I'd have to go buy him too.
And I wouldn't blame you one bit, Coop. I wouldn't blame you. But see, whenever he would walk past Mordecai refused to bow before him. And you know why? Because he's a Jew.
A Jew.
Yes, and since Haman isn't his God, he said, no way, Jose, I ain't bowing before
That's
you.
right. You go, Mordecai.
Yes, you go, Mordecai. You better go on with your bad self.
Yeah, baby.
But since he wouldn't do this, it made Haman very, very angry.
How angry did it make him?
So angry that he began to plot to not only kill Mordecai, but all Jewish people.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
How
could he even get away with that?
Oh, I know, right? But see, what happens is that he's so, he has all that favor with the king.
Yeah.
And he's even got people to, bow before him. I'm thinking that he has a little bit of power under his hands.
Oh, wow.
So what he does is he goes and he convinces the king that Jews were all evil, every single one of them, that they were terrible for his kingdom.
But his new wife is going to be a Jew.
Yes, and that's where the entire problem of the story comes up. This entire thing is kind of situated around Haman, about how terrible he was and how Esther has to save her people.
How does she go about doing that? Because she's just one girl.
I know, but you know what? She has the favor of God with her. And that's how this entire story is going to change up.
Ooh, that's interesting.
So remember how Mordecai told her to do what?
To keep her mouth shut. And I keep my mouth shut. Sometimes I want to bark real bad, especially at those UPS guys. And my master says, "Be quiet, Cooper." And I have to be quiet. I might get a spanking. So I might just be put out in the backyard, with that other big dog that they like really good.
Yeah.
But, I'm their favorite.
And I wouldn't doubt anything in this world that you're not their favorite. Okay?
But yeah, she had to keep her mouth shut, and she did a good job.
Yes, and she kept her secret for 5, 6, 7 years almost.
Wow, I didn't know it was that long.
Yes, and the king still doesn't know. He has no idea that his queen, the love of his life, is a Jewish person. So, whenever Mordecai hears that there is this plot to kill all Jews, right? That there's this law, and it's under the Persians and Medes law again.
Yeah, those two words I don't know.
Well, I'm going to give you guys just a little heads up on what that word means one more time. It means that these laws that he's making cannot be taken back whatsoever. So Mordecai hears this and he runs to Esther, okay? He tells her to use her power for good, to save the Jews. And she knows, Coop, that she can't go before the king without being called.
Yeah, because he could cut her head off.
Yes, he could absolutely cut her head off. Or he could do it like what he could do to Queen V, exile her, all sorts of stuff. But if she doesn't do anything, her people will die, right?
That's right. She's got to do something.
Yeah, so either she dies telling the king that she's a Jew, or she dies because she doesn't say anything, or she lives because the favor of God's on her. And we're hoping that's that third option.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, God has a plan.
Yes, he always does. And see, what happens is that she can't escape this. And like we just said, she could die either way. And see, Mordecai tells her this to reassure her. He tells her, who knows if perhaps you were made for a time such as this. And this is a famous Bible quote, and I really feel like it's really to reassure you guys during this time, kids. You can be ordinary, you can be just an orphan, you can be anything, and that God will use you. So what happens is that she does something about it. In the face of death, she calls for the Jews of Susa and her servants to fast for 3 days. And after this, she says that she'll go before the king, whether it's legal or not. She's going to say, I'm going to take on death. This is what's going to happen, yes.
And we need to pray before we make decisions. We need to do like she does, and we need to really pray and ask God before we do that.
Yes, fast and pray, yes.
She's very wise.
You know what else she says? She says, if I die, I die.
Wow.
I get chills.
Yeah, she's brave.
Yes, and that's the kind of bravery that we need in such a time as this. So what happens is next, she does this, and on the third day, she goes to the king, and her king, he sees her standing there, and he invites her to come closer. He doesn't reject her like she feared. He welcomes her, and she finds favor with the king.
Wow.
You know what? He takes it even a step further. He tells her that he would give her anything, even if it's half of his kingdom.
Wow.
That's like California to Kansas, ain't it?
Yeah, and that's a long way.
Yes. Now, Coop, if you could have anything in this world, what would you have? If the king is offering you this request.
Oh, let me see. I'd ask for a big T-bone steak with the bone in the middle.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
yes.
Man. Don't give me no salad, though.
No, no, so double steak. How about that?
Yeah.
But see, she doesn't ask for half the kingdom. She don't go into her desires for a steak or anything. You know what she does?
What does she do?
She asks for a feast for Haman and the king to join her.
Oh.
Yes.
She's got something up her sleeve.
Oh, yes, she does. And you know what? They do it. They go to her. But then the king asks her again. He tells her, what's your true wish? What's your deepest desire? I'm going to give you half the kingdom if that's what you ask for. Anything you want, I'll do it. And then she tells the king, look, it is my deepest wish and my truest desire for this feast to happen. He tells him that if she's found favor with him, for him to come to her feast again the next day. There, if him and Haman come, she will explain why she is doing all of this. Now, do you have any idea why it's a feast, Coop?
No, I'm not real sure why she would make a feast, because she knows Hammond is a bad guy. So I just can't figure this out.
I know. Well, I'm going to give you guys a real quick hint on why she's doing this. It's because it was a plan to let the king make the discoveries himself.
Oh, cool.
So it's a lot better than her saying to going to the king and saying, this is my, this guy's planning all this evil stuff. Whenever that's his most trustworthy advisor.
Right.
It's so much better for him to be like, oh, that guy's evil.
Yeah, you can see it himself.
So Hammond, he's really excited because he's invited once again to another feast the next day. So he
That's
leaves.
a lot of feasting.
That's a lot of food. I don't know if I'd be able to eat all that.
I know.
So he's leaving the first feast, and he's super happy. So happy to be finally honored and now recognized by the queen. But, Coop, it all disappears when he walked past Mordecai.
Oh, he saw Mordecai.
Yes, he saw Mordecai. And you remember what happened the first time?
Yeah.
Yes, he wouldn't bow to him.
Right.
Well, guess what Mordecai did?
What?
He didn't bow again.
Uh-oh, and he's in front of the king, right?
Well, this is actually whenever he's leaving the thing.
Oh,
yeah. So
okay.
but this is just after he's leaving the king. He's on his way home, and he sees, Hammond, he gets so angry again that this one guy, the rest of the kingdom is bowing before him, but since this one guy is not bowing before him, he gets so angry. So angry.
Wow, I bet he's angry enough to do anything, even show his true colors, as they say.
Yes. Because we already know that he's already made a law trying to kill everybody, right?
Yeah.
And then you're kind of just sitting there, could be like, how can you do this more? What else can you do?
Yeah.
But he does something even scarier.
What?
He goes directly at Mordecai. And, he goes directly at him. And he actually goes and he builds a gallows, which means a post to hang someone.
Right. Yeah, I've seen those.
And what he wants to do is use his gallows to hang Mordecai. I know.
How does he get out of it? How does Mordecai get out of that?
By the grace of God, he does.
Wow.
So, you're sitting there and you're like, no, I don't want Mordecai to die. That's what I'm feeling, Coop. And so I'm just thinking in my head, remembering that God has already foreseen this, that he cares for his people. So God sees to it that the night before the banquet, that the king just can't sleep. He is so restless that he asks for the record books to be read to put him to sleep. The record books.
The record books.
Do you remember what happens with the record books?
They keep records.
Yes, they keep the records.
They put everything in the record books that they want to remember.
Yes, exactly. And who's in those record books?
Hammond.
No, Mordecai.
Mordecai.
Yes, Mordecai, because remember
That's right.
He saved the king from being assassinated.
That's right, yeah.
Yes. And though this was years later, Mordecai's good deeds would be rewarded. And the king believed that everyone should honor Mordecai for this act. So, see, the king gets all blah, blah, blah. He goes to honor Mordecai, and he actually gets Haman to do this.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. This ain't good.
No,
Haman.
no, it isn't. Imagine how humiliating that is.
I know.
No, for him to have to honor this guy that refused to bow before him, the man he built the gallows for to hang him on.
Right.
This man is being honored before the king.
Woo.
I know. So Mordecai gets honored. And so flash forward to the second feast. Now, the king gives Esther the same thing, the same offer. And he tells her again, if you want half the kingdom, I'm going to give that to you. I'm going to give you anything your heart desires. Anything. How tempting. And yet she stays true. Remembering her people's lives were at stakes. And before everybody, she tells him that she's a Jew.
Wow.
Yes.
And he didn't know, did he?
No, he didn't. No.
What do you think's going to happen?
Oh, we're about to find out, Coop. It's going to be something very magical, and we're going to see God's hand in every single bit of it. And see, what she does is that she pleads for her life. She pleads for her people's lives to be spared. And then she says this. She says, there's a man in this room that seeks to kill and enslave my people. She says that this man tricked her king into decreeing it and to try to get Mordecai hung.
Oh, man.
Yes, and she hasn't said who it was yet.
Uh-oh.
So the king is like really angry, really. He demanded to know who it was. Who would do such a thing? And you know what she does?
What did she do?
She tells him it was Haman. Oh my goodness.
Did the king believe her?
Yes, he did.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
What did Haman do?
Oh, so, Haman, he actually goes and he begs for his life from Esther. He literally falls down before her and begs for his life. Imagine that. The same woman that you're trying to kill, and now you're asking for your own life from her. Another humiliating moment.
Yes.
So then what happens is that the king, being so angry that someone would try to hurt his wife, he sought vengeance. He took Haman and had him hung from the gallows. From the gallows that was supposed to hung Mordecai. And you know what else he does?
What?
He gives all the estate that was from from Haman, and gives it to Mordecai's family.
Wow.
Yes.
So God did have a plan.
Yes.
To bless his people.
And you know what happens then is that, remember, there's still that stupid Persian and Medes law.
Yeah, that Persian and Medes law. So how did they change that? Because, they couldn't put their hands crossed behind their back.
No, they couldn't, Coop. So what they do is that since it can't be revoked, that the king deeply regretted making this decision, but he found ways to help the Jews. He armed them with weapons so that they could protect themselves, and they were saved because of that.
Well, that was good.
So God's hand was in every last bit of this entire story, right?
He sure was.
He was from the very beginning of having her being taken in by Mordecai. He was in the very beginning whenever the king favored her with her beauty. And you know what's crazy about this book?
What?
Is that God's not mentioned once in the book.
How about that?
I know, but you can see his hand in every last bit of it.
So sometimes when we have problems, we may not see God or hear God, but we can see Him working in our problems.
Yes, because God is sovereign. He is omnipresent. He can do anything He wants to do. And if He decides He wants to save you, then you know what? That's what's going to happen, Coop.
That's right. That's right.
And I think for us to take away for such a time living as this during the COVID-19 crisis, that we can get very discouraged because we're just ordinary people. We're not scientists.
That's right.
We're not doctors. We're not all these, super, like PhD people. Not most of us aren't.
Yeah.
And it kind of just gets really scary because you feel like you can't do anything. But here's a beautiful part is that God took an orphan, a little girl that was 14 to 15 years old, and He does such a work that He saves her entire people, saves His chosen people. So understand this, guys, is that you can be ordinary, you can be uneducated, you can be anything what on earth this world is, and God can use you. And you know what we're going to talk about, kids, me and Coop? We're going to talk about ways that we can help one another during this time and how we can trust, we can just do this stuff because God can use us. So Coop, tell us a few ways that we can help people.
Well, we can call an older person and ask them if they have anything they need from the grocery store, and you can go by and pick it up and leave it on their front porch.
Exactly. And another way what you can do is you can wash your hands.
That's right.
Yeah. And we should have been doing this long before the COVID-19 crisis.
Yeah, wash your hands.
And a trick to do whenever you wash your hands is that you're going to sing happy birthday to yourself twice.
Yep.
And whenever you wash your hands, you're getting underneath those nails, in between your fingers. Whenever I'm at work, I wash my all the way up to my elbows, Coop.
Yeah. Wash like a surgeon.
Yes, you got to wash every last bit of yourself.
Yeah.
Another way that you can do is you stay at home. And you know what's going to make someone really happy at home by staying home? Your pup.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your pup, your dog will be so happy for you to be at home during this time.
That's right.
Oh my goodness. So not only are you keeping other people safe, you're keeping other people happy, right, Coop?
That's right. Oh, and if you have to sneeze, sneeze into your elbow, not your hand.
No, not your hand at all. And Coop, want to demonstrate how you cough into your elbow? You don't cough like this. You cough right in here. And you cover your entire mouth.
That's right. You cover your entire mouth.
To where you can't even breathe.
That's right.
Yes, every last bit of it. So, guys, I want to thank you guys so much for joining us today on our 4th Youth Bible Study Night. Thank you so much, Coop, for joining us. It was a pleasure being with you guys.
It was a good, fun time I had.
Yes.
Wait till I go back and tell that big dog in my backyard that I got out. I sneaked under the fence, so I'm going to have to sneak back under without nobody knowing.
You know what, Coop? I will help you get home, okay?
Okay.
Because I want you here next time, okay? So, you guys, we're going to be having a dun 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 Wednesday night Bible study with Mr. Mac Perry at 7 o'clock. So you guys tune in during that time, and also be safe, cover your mouth, wash those hands, and stay at home, okay? We love you guys. God bless you.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to this Sunday night youth service here at the Pine Level Pentecostal Unity Church with Ericka Allen and Cooper. Stay tuned. Tomorrow night will be Bible study with Reverend Mac Perry starting at 7 p.m. Actually, that's Wednesday night, Wednesday night at 7 p.m. with Bible study with Reverend Mac Perry. And then again, Sunday morning worship service here at 10:30 a.m. We hope to have a drive-in service again this week as well. So look forward to seeing you there, and we'll be giving you more information as time goes on. Don't forget you can watch our services live on demand through the website at pinelevelphc.org or through the app and Google Play, on the App Store, through Facebook at facebook.com/pinelevelphc. Like our page and get notifications when we're live, and you can also watch us on YouTube. Select services available. Pine Level PH Church. Subscribe to our channel, get notifications when we go live. You can also listen to the podcast through your favorite podcast provider, or go to the website or the app for the quick link for here at the Pine Lake Pentecostal Church. I'm Joey Perry. God bless. We'll see you back here Wednesday night at 7.